Well, Father's Day is just around the corner, but some of us aren't as close with our dads as we would like to be. Here now to help us improve our relationships is counselor Kat Robey. Welcome, Kat.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm great. Good to see you again.
You too.
Now, okay, tell us some of the challenges in the relationships between fathers and adult children.
A lot of it, I think, still stems from being kids. You know, statistically, at least, dads are not at home as much as moms are, and so relationships can be pretty strained. A lot of times with divorced families, the father is the one that has limited contact with the children. So I think that's something else that needs to be considered. And how they spend that time together can be, bring them closer together. It can make them question their relationship as they're growing older. So there's a lot that goes into it. I think it's also important to, I don't know, remember that you're sometimes trying to fill expectations that may or may not be real, you know, these perceptions that we have of this person, trying to kind of get their attention or get noticed or, you know, somehow maybe grow up in their eyes. I know a lot of people, sometimes myself included, I feel like I'm still a little girl, you know, and I think that happens with both parents, but the struggle to really own who you are as an adult in front of this person who's seen your good and your bad all the way through.
Right. Well, I like that you brought up maybe issues that we had as children with our fathers. Now, what if you are an adult child and you're holding on to these maybe bad experiences you had with your father or just bad memories? How do you even start to overcome these?
Yeah, a lot of it, I think, is really starting to address or figure out, first of all, what your triggers are. I think this is something that's really important in terms of, you know, if you look at your own relationship, there are probably areas that push your buttons or topics that push your buttons or things that you wish were just off limits to bring up. And maybe having a conversation about that and saying, you know, I love spending time with you, but it's really not okay to bring this thing up. Maybe it's politics, maybe it's an event that happened with the family years ago or whatever. And yeah, that might not always work to say that, but you can then try to maneuver yourself away from conversations that seem to be like they're going to trap you in some sort of emotional sense.
Exactly. Okay. So, and then when we're talking about trying to improve connections, maybe it's not you had a bad relationship with your father, but maybe you didn't have a relationship with your father, and now he's trying to reach out and maybe be more present in your life. How do you even start a connection process?
You know what? I agree that sometimes people don't have the connection, but I also like this idea that I'll mention here for people that have a great connection with their family is to change it up a little bit and almost pretend like it's a dating kind of game. You know, ask kinds of questions about who they are as a person. You know, what are their favorite destinations? What was their favorite memory of you growing up? Or what was, you know, what are their favorite foods? Things that are just kind of general and maybe not hot topics, but also give you a sense of who they are today. You know, they may be things that you think you already know about them. And it sounds kind of trivial, but I think it can create a safe space to start having a closer interaction and have more conversations for them.
I really like that. So maybe calling up your dad and saying, hey, let's have a coffee date.
Yeah.
Let's sit one-on-one and maybe just talk about the past and maybe even the present, you know, what we're doing now. Let's get to know each other as the people we are today.
Well, and do things together. Maybe new things that neither one of you has done, so there's no expertise on either side. There's no expectations again. So something that you can go and learn together or do something new together.
I love that.
Yeah.
Now, the fathers that are watching the show today, what advice can you give them if they are wanting to reach out to their adult children? Yeah,
I think probably at the core, most fathers want to help in any given situation. And maybe that would be by disagreeing with the choices that their child has made, their adult child has made. I think if you want a connection and you actually want the best for the situation as well, the way you approach it is going to make a difference. So if you have advice to give, watch the way that you give it. Try to find a place where it's not a, you know, I'm talking from up here and all this experience and you don't know anything, so let me tell you how it goes. You know, maybe have conversations like, have you considered this? Or what do you think about this? Or how do you think you're going to handle it? Or what kind of strengths do you think you're going to bring to this? You know, those are very different ways of interacting about an advice kind of situation. A lot of times children who say they don't want the advice ask for it and then get angry that they're getting it.
Right.
So that's another pitfall to be aware of as the adult child in the situation.
The adult child's job maybe not to ask advice for something if you're not ready to hear what you don't want to hear.
Exactly.
As an answer.
Yeah.
This is great advice, Kat. Thank you so much, especially with Father's Day coming up. Very important. Thanks, Kat. Have a great day. To get more tips to better your relationship with Dad, just call Kat at 906-3392 or